Now, the interface for Adobe Premiere Pro might seem a little bit daunting when you first encounter it, but don't worry, it's all not that complicated. Also, don't stress if your interface doesn't look exactly the same. The look and feel and the layout of this interface has changed over the years, but all of the features that we're going to be using throughout this course should be available in Adobe Premiere Pro ever since CC was released in 2013. The only exception to that are the title and text tools that have changed in CC 2017, but I'll touch on that a little bit further down the line. The interface for Premiere Pro is made up of a number of different customizable panels. All of them have these thick dark lines in between, and you can click on them and drag in and out to resize your panels in any way that you want. You can also actually click on the titles for any of these panels and drag them around, and you can reposition them. So for example, I could move the timeline up into here, or I can drag it and attach it to the side. You can relay out your interface in any way that you want. You can also right-click on the title of a lot of these panels and select to undock that panel. And that's going to give you a floating window, so you can move bits and pieces around or move them off to another screen if you have. You can also close the panels that you don't need. There's also a little X's next to those panels to close them more quickly. Now, if you've lost a panel that we're going to be touching on throughout this course, you can always come up into Window, and down here at the bottom you will find a list of all of the panels that are available in Adobe Premiere Pro. So for example, I've closed the timeline panel. I can just select the timeline panel here, and that brings my timeline panel back. Another gotcha for beginners of Premiere Pro is also that sometimes some panels are hidden behind others. So right here on the left hand side I've got a project panel, which we'll touch on in just a minute. And over on the right of that there's actually more panels here. There's a media browser, and you can see that by this little double arrow that's being indicated here. If you click on that, you can actually see there's two panels nested right here, so you can switch between them. And if you added more panels into that, for example, we drag the timeline into that as well. Now under this arrow, I would have the project panel, the media browser, and the timeline. So again, you may not see all of them on your interface. Now, if you can't find a panel or you've messed everything up and you just want to return to where you started, you can always come up into Window, Workspaces. Over on the right hand side, you can actually select a number of different workspaces for editing, working with effects, working on graphics, or going through your libraries, or learning, or working with audio. Down at the bottom, you have a really handy function called Reset to Saved Layout, and if you select that, it's going to reset the interface to where you started. Now, we're almost ready to get into actually editing some video, but first we do need to talk about setting up Premiere Pro and adjusting some of the preferences, just so it's a little bit easier working with Premiere Pro, and we're going to do that in the next lesson.